Hey folks, we are going to do some artwork tonight for the Eberron adventure that we've been creating here on stream, Crystals of Mabar. So we're going to do monster tokens tonight and we're going to have some fun. So give me a second here, check my signal, make sure I'm coming through. I'll go through my intro and then we'll get to work here for 100 minutes of fun or so. So let's see what happens if I press this button. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Meow meow. This button. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Meow meow. This button. Mic check. Yep, sounds like it's coming through A-OK. Good. I'm gonna punch some signals here across Discord and Twitter. If you know where I hide online, you can find me pretty easy, but I'll show you where I'm at here in a second. Now I'm going to go through my intro spiel here, so if you're catching me here after live stream in the future, hi future, glad you're here. If you're here in the moment with me, or if you haven't seen this before, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them and publish them online, and I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years. There's a slew of links to other books that I've built down below and illustrated. Probably about 150 different illustrations across the books are just linked down below. And if you search for my name on DMsGuild.com, if you search for artists under Phil Kearney, you'll find probably about 100 different books that I have been put in so far. I'm pretty proud of that. So thanks a lot everyone that's been supporting the artwork that I create. If you're a D&D enthusiast, I run games from level 1 to 20 in about 200 some odd hours. So the things that I publish online are generally tools that I discovered during the game I run. Thought they were cool and built them out in the books for you guys to check out. Or I want to run a campaign and I know the tools don't exist and I have to build them. Either way, we playtest stuff, we illustrate them, then we publish them online. They all have, like I said, they all have extensive free previews. You can click the eye icon on mobile phone or full preview link underneath the book covers. It'll pop up in a PDF. You can check that stuff out. So I'd love to have your support. If you think this stuff is cool, we're gonna I do it. Like I said, I do all the illustrating, and that's what we're gonna keep doing tonight. So if you're on Twitter X, you can follow me on the Twitter platform at Phil Kearney. Best way to support the channel is to like, subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when I'm live in the future. I am here 6 days a week and publish something pre-recorded typically on Sundays. So I got 7-day presence. Sometimes I stream up to 12 times per week across those days. We're currently on episode 182 of creating this adventure. This book cover we created back around episode 40. So you can jump down here into the full creation playlist here to go check in the Wayback Machine to see when that was. But for now, we are going to, there's a number of creatures and NPCs that the team will encounter during the course of the adventure, and we want to provide tokens for all of them. So we've been building out these are all the random monsters that you could run across during the adventure. And so yeah, we're illustrating them so that you have a token for that stuff. There you go. Once that's done, we'll start. We'll go back. We'll work on some random encounter maps so all these guys can run around and have fun in the world. And once we finish up those maps, I got a fire going. The logs are knocking around. But yeah, once the random encounter maps are done, then we'll go through and we will create tokens for all the named NPCs. I think it was like about around episode 160, maybe 150 that we were creating NPC tokens. And so you'll see more of those come through here in the future. And once we get done with editing the third act, I'll be able to start dropping everything in the layouts and doing, page layout and stuff. You can see how I arrange the text, and then we can break up the maps into little bite-sized chunks so we can have them on the map and blah 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 blah. It just goes on forever. So, but it eventually gets done. We just got to keep showing up and keep pushing the ball forward, and we eventually get there. So, I have no intentions of stopping anytime soon unless death takes me, and I haven't been advised that I'm at any particular risk at the moment, so I'm going to continue on with confidence. This is a living grave that we're creating. It's basically a gauntlet-style monster generator of undead goop. It's just when there's a mass grave of unnamed bodies that are just kind of dumped unceremoniously, and then you inject that area with massive amounts of nefarious undead necrotic energy. Sometimes those things just kind of fuse into a giant mass and become a sort of ooze swarm sort of thing that until you can destroy the mass altogether, pieces of it can split off as new undead ghouls or zombies or skeletons to come at you. And so, and since it's just like an oozy mass, it's really hard to say how many bodies are in there. So until the team actually has eyes on the mass, it can basically have unlimited corpses growing out of it, and they are typically found in deep water or like in sinkholes that are flooded, so that you don't have to worry about necessarily seeing the bottom of the mass grave. So it's kind of like this thing that just kind of rises up out of the goop to menace ya. So I just gotta keep sticking heads and faces and body parts and bits throughout the mass until basically it's suitably saturated with Cronenberg, and then we can move on to the next one. And once we have after this one we have the Plague Oak. It's basically a poltergeist movie style tree that's more than happy to eat your son if it can just push a limb through your window. Alas, no windows. So I'll just wait for someone to come along, and then I'll nom 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 eat ya. And so once we finish the the sketches or the line art that we're doing, we'll then be able to flip back around and do detail for all the line art. And once all the detailing is done for each token, then we can go back through and drop in color. Once the color's dropped in, we'll fuse the color to the line art and blend it all together, because that's what it's all about. So I am here 6 days a week live, Monday through Friday in the morning, like tomorrow morning and this morning. We do Spelljammer art for the book that we've been creating. On Mondays and Thursdays, such as now, we create creature tokens and maps for the Eberron adventure, Crystals in the Bar. It's an 8th level adventure for characters in Karnath fighting undead, of course. on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, including tomorrow, during lunchtime. There we go. Hey. We developed the Martial Powers Project, which is a alternate magic system, sort of like the Book of Nine Swords from 3rd edition, providing magic selection options for martial characters, similar to what spellcasters get. So you have the same wide array of options to choose from daily or per level to vastly increase your character complexity and decision making, and have more of a quadratic path for the martial characters to match that of spellcasters if you want added complexity to your spellcaster, to your martial characters. So we developed that on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday lunch, and I'm here in Seattle, so it's almost 8 o'clock here. Oh, I should set a timer because it's almost 8 o'clock here. I'm gonna set a timer. 20 minutes on the block. Every 20 minutes this thing's gonna pop off. That'll make sure that we don't fall down any particular tangent. Hey everyone. Oh, neat. Let's see. Yep. So there's that. So we'll see if I have another 90 minutes in me or not. It'll probably just depend on my energy of the day and what inspiration may hit me or conversations strike up. And if I look up and it's 10 o'clock, then cheers. Otherwise, we'll just log off when I get when I'm done for the day. So, and I'll get some good sleep tonight. I'll be back for Spelljammer in the morning. I'm looking forward to Martial Powers at lunch tomorrow because we have new tech to share. New tech for the maneuvers, so that we have free maneuvers available for characters if they're willing to spend the action economy to earn it. So I am very excited about that. I think that was the solution that I needed to basically allow martial characters to do something interesting every round of combat. And spending mana allows you to basically upscale how effective that thing is. But pretty happy with the results. Hey Zona, what's going on? Have I had a good day? Yes, I have. Here, let me fix this so I can see everyone's text a little bit better. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a really good day. Thanks, Zona. I feel successful at my day job and in my relationship home life, and I have 8 diagrams I have to finish for the Spelljammer book, and 9 actual illustrations. And of those 8, I got 2 done today between end of work and now, in the past couple hours. So that's really exciting to me because after I get done with the diagrams and all the interior art, I need to do the diagrams and layout for the Ladder Zaraxis sample adventure, and that's 25 pages. And so I'm mostly happy with the text. I just need to figure out how to arrange the assets, all the visual assets and the text information onto the pages without forcing me into doing a bunch of additional illustrations that'll vastly slow down publishing the project. I don't want any illustrations from Ladder Zaraxis because there's all the NPC tokens, all the maps, and all the ship tokens that can be used as actual illustrations in the 25-page book thing. I don't need to add illustrations. It has plenty of visual assets. It's just a matter of how can I arrange them all on the page so that they're informative and aesthetically pleasing. And so I think what's going to end up happening is I am going to, let's do that. Hold on, I need to melt some flesh into a puddle. And then I'll get back to my point. Yeah. So it's a 106-page document. The first 80 of them are I'm pretty happy about, but I still need a couple of illustrations, and I should have those. So I'm thinking at this, if I can get them done at that rate, and I most likely will be able to. I think I should have the remaining 6 done before the end of next week, if that's possible. Then I have my Christmas vacation coming up, my year-end staycation week off of work, that I get to pretend I'm a full-time content producer, and I'll have a good solid 5-6 days for me to do nothing but build out the remaining illustrations. Of the 8 that remain, 5 of them are like planet, sky, or environment illustrations, and I can finish one of those things like in anywhere from 3 to 10 hours typically. So if I can get to a place where all I have left is the Light of Xeraxis conversion guide and some environment painting to do, I'm going to be in a really good place to be done towards the beginning of January, and I'll even have a little bit of time left over for me to just go back over everything again, just to make sure I'm really happy with where everything's at, without feeling the pressure to publish before it's actually ready. And that makes me feel very, very relaxed. It's been a very long process of building all these books, and it's going to feel really good to get that Spelljammer book actually published and off of my plate. Because then this Eberron project gets to move forward, and I will then be able to work on this Monday through Friday instead. So we're going to see the Eberron time frames also start to collapse, because similarly, this thing is packed full of tokens and maps. There's a ton of visual assets that already exist to basically fill up little corners and nooks around pages, and then anywhere that's really necessary, we can drop in a quarter-page illustration pretty easily with minimal effort. Like we can finish one of those per week. I might only need like 6 or 7 of them. So if we can get the final act of this done, like say in February, I would like to say I have a decent chance of having it done by May, which probably means it won't be done until July. Let's be honest, it's me. But that would also mean that by July, it's going to be a really fucking solid project, and I am really looking forward to having that free. So yeah, I'm really, well, I'm glad. Thanks. This is all, god damn. The work that I've done this year is it's next level for me. It's very, very. I'm obviously leveling up in my book creation skills in general. Not only just my production time for illustrations, but also I think the quality of my layout. The cohesion of the page dress, the way the books look, and the theme of the content. I think the mechanics are more clever. I think I'm doing a better job explaining them. I think just everything is just like that's 5-star. Like you got the points in the middle, you get the 5 things, and you have that weird shaped object. I think all my shit's just kind of expanding out, and I am very, very thankful for that. And everything that we're building this year and next year is stuff that we can build more stuff off of, whether it's on DMsGuild, D&D Beyond, if that becomes the platform to sell things on, or if I just shift to building content on my Patreon. Regardless of what path I end up having to follow, or what path I'm led to is probably more accurate, then I'll just be able to appreciate that I have all of these basically flagship type projects that I can then extrapolate and expand upon, and just like with the color mana system stuff that I have, it's like there's the core mechanics, and there's Knights and Tricksters, and then there's like the universal spell points, and then the spell point Warlocks, and then the expanded revised spell list, color mana spell list, and then martial powers is going to add to that, and then we'll have spell point sorcerers and spell point artificers to flesh out the spell point kits, and it's just it'll end up being like 8 books in total for like an entire Magic the Gathering reskin of 5e for anyone that wants to play a Magic the Gathering setting. And then for Spelljammer, there's so much shit for Spelljammer that I can do. The Mecha Kaiju books I was talking about. Once Martial Powers is done, I can create create martial power mechanics for piloting ships. So I can then have like Mecha Gundam Valkyrie, like 50-foot robots with a martial power system that allows you to use maneuvers, strikes, reactions, and sustained effects as your mecha suit. And I mean, it all just keeps curving together, and I'm really excited about that. And some of it's going to be so niche, it would be silly to. I don't know if silly is the word, but like if I made a Boros Swiftblade subclass for like a fighter or something, like that's such a niche little category. I don't know. Maybe I'd publish on Patreon. Maybe I would just put it up as like a pay what you want thing, basically as a coupon to lower the cost of you buying more color mana stuff. But I mean, there's no end to the stuff. Like once the Spelljammer book is out and we update the color mana spell points to incorporate Theros, we could do a Theros Spelljammer campaign where instead of there being an Astral Sea and Wild Space, it's just Nyx, the undead ethereal plane that surrounds Theros. So we could have like space harpies and like like sky barges ferrying the undead across the Nyx from one island to another, where souls are treated to different types of afterlives, and the ferryman can cart them around from location to location. There's just a lot of really fun, cool shit we can do with all of these different things playing together. Like the campaign that I run at home, like my actual home table, is it's a space opera. It's an Eberron space opera Spelljammer campaign, where instead of just being like the world of Eberron, each nation or continent, depending on their importance, is its own asteroid that basically floats in this small closed air system, and so all each nation has their own fleet of airships that engage in combat and stuff, and pretty fucking fun. But I could start taking Eberron and building building toolkits for that. Here's how Carnathy Carnathy Spelljammer ships look like. They look like Voltron. The enemies of Voltron, those dark ships that have the giant white skulls on their prow. That's what all the Carnathy ships like. They just giant, they're like a cross between Voltron evil ships and Warhammer 40k Space Marines. They have that skull motif going on. It's just hardcore. They're all like 40k. They're like 40k Ultramarines, but also they're paladins that channel negative energy. So they run around this giant. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let's see. What's the easiest way for me to find it? Let's go with here. This will probably find us. Let's go with Phil Kearney Edros. So here's the map that we created for it. So these are all free floating continents, asteroids that are their own. This is open space, and you can see the 150 miles, 300 miles, 600 miles. So from here to here, that's 600 miles. If ships can fly 10 miles an hour in the format that we were using on this map. And this map, the coloring is weird because the Mourning, Mourning, the thing that destroyed Sire in the middle of the continent. The timeline with this is that the world was converging with Zoriat, the demon reality, and the whole the whole fabric of the planet would be destroyed. So the only solutions that the Gatekeeper Druids came up with was to detonate the core of the planet, shunting the planet out of the way so that the manifest zone of Zoriat would just pass through the rubble and not affect. And whoever is left alive, congratulations, you're still alive. We can rebuild, but at least you aren't being eaten by a demon now. So this is the end result of that. Is this shattered Eberron. And so you can take like Karnathi here, and the Moorholds are on a connecting continent, and the Pirates of Lazar over here, they have their own fleets, like Kabara and the Lizard People. So like this mass, so the detonated core of the planet, that's where all the wild magic is. So if you sink down into where the core of the planet was, you can come out the other side. It's like to get to Sarlona. But if you do, as you go further and further towards the core of the planet, the storms that you run across, the lightning strikes they'll damage you, but they'll also trigger spell effects. And the closer to the core of the planet, the higher level spells that you get. Until you're hitting 9th level spells with like lightning, like a lightning storm this is a power word kill storm. Really, but it could also be a resurrection storm. You really don't know. So people that are desperate will dive in there to find out what'll happen, and most of the time never come back out again. But sometimes they do. So the Lizardmen of Kabara, they build these barges that they put all their eggs into, and they drop them down into the wild space as deep as they can possibly go, and maintain the structure of the flotilla, hoping that it has all these lightning rods, hoping that it's going to get hit by lightning. So whatever magical energy is in that storm will then pass into the vessels, infuse the water that the eggs are incubating in, and when they're born, they could be lizardmen, they could be kobolds, they could be dragonkin, dragonborn, they could be half dragons, they could be actual small baby dragons, they can have psionics, they could be gem dragons, they could have spell-like abilities. There's all sorts of shit that can happen to them. They're actively trying to mutate themselves by infecting their eggs with just stray wild magic energy. And that's how they're able to maintain themselves in Kabara and maintain their lizardman kingdom by choosing to mutate themselves that way. So that's one of the things. So anyway, that's shocking information. So yeah, the airships that float between there is like 10 miles per hour. That's roughly 50 miles per day that they can float back and forth, and it's not too crazy. But the next campaign that we're running is the Tears of Sybaris, which is the asteroid belt that surrounds Eberron like a ring. Basically, it's all crystals and precious metals. So the next campaign we have upgraded ships that can fly up to 1,000 miles per day instead of 50. So that we can have more distance to be able to fly in and around that belt. The technology upgrades over time, and it's a progressing timeline. So we're getting better airships now that can now go up into the atmosphere and harvest these crystals so that you can have unlimited psionic energy, which is going to piss off the Sarlona because they rely on that psionic resonance in place for them to have their Zoriat masters dream into their mind and run their bodies as Sarlona does. But I was actually, the actual point of me being here was to show off the power armor. Here's the Zendrick map that we modified since we're on a tangent. Oh, there they are. Yeah, zoom in on this real quick. So the ice flow C is trapped inside of all the ice around here, but it's slowly pouring out into the atmosphere around it. Zendrick is at a much lower elevation than where Corvair, thank you, where the nation, the continent Corvair is at a much higher altitude than Zendrick. So Zendrick is steeped more in magic. There's more wild magic effects. It explains why people get lost in the jungle, Traveler, all that stuff. Arganessen is down in here too, the island of dragons. Humans can dive down here, but it's dangerous. So it's fun. Anyway, those are ideas. Oops. Well, maybe I shouldn't have closed that. Hold on. Raven close tab. And then we'll get back to work. Here we go. This is a while ago, but here you go. Here's the power armor. This is an older illustration at this point, but this is the power armor that we had created. Hold on, maybe there's better representation somewhere nearby. I have links. Nope, no links. Oh well. Anyway, you saw it. There we go. Maybe there's a closer up over here. Here you are. There. So this is your standard Carnathy power armor, but this is the paladin on our team, and he was a paladin of vengeance that worshipped the Banshee. I think that was the name. It's like this screeching god of vengeance. Anyway, he took Carnathy power armor and claimed it for his own, and started killing Carnath indiscriminately with it. It was great. But yeah, that's the kind of armor that the Carnathy run around inside of. I'd probably build it differently now that I've matured a bit as a designer, but it's fun to poke through all that stuff. Anyway, I'll get back to work. Enough reminiscence, son. There's artwork to actually do. I tend to go on tangents on Thursday nights, don't I? I don't regret it. I'm just observing it. I think it's fun. When I start doing that Martial Powers playtest, it's not going to be on a Thursday. Thursday is like really just, how to put it, just really enjoyable. I don't know if there's any other way I can put it. I just really, really enjoy just BSing on Thursday nights like this. It's fun. And it helps me not take the artwork too seriously, for me to keep in mind that it's just for fun. So I can keep the spirit there and not try to put too many expectations on what I'm supposed to do or be, and just let it all happen kind of naturally, you know? Whatever's going to be is going to end up being anyway. There's nothing I can do to avoid that fate. And the more I surrender to that fate, the more I'm going to be able to flow with it. So if it's rocky, I can be like a drunkard asleep at the wheel and walk away unscathed. But yeah, I could since Eberron and Spelljammer are both WOTC IPs, I could create. I could put out all my maps and update everything and put in a primer. And I've already gotten permission from, or rather approval from DMsGuild that it's appropriate content for me to be able to build a space opera remix of the Eberron campaign if I decided I wanted to do that. And I guess it would just, wherever I find myself in 2025, 26, we'll just see where the winds blow me. I have enough projects now that I'm proud of and want to expand, that I'll never have a shortage of content to produce, even if I don't create any more flagships from here. But there's lots I want to do still. Like my current home campaign, the Endless Days Groundhog Day campaign that I've been running for the past 4 years. They're 20th level now, so they're going to be wrapping up their campaign very shortly. Maybe within the next 2, 3, or even 4 sessions, they could be done with the campaign altogether, and then we're going to start on the asteroid, the Tears of Sybaris asteroid campaign. And this is a campaign I run at my day job, and it looks like we currently have 5 or 6 recruits that are interested in coming on board for this campaign. We started off with 5 4 years ago, and due to jobs being jobs, it eventually whittled down to 3, and we just lost our 3rd. So we only have 2 people left out of 5 that are now 20th level, trying to cap off the end boss to wrap up the campaign, because they want the feather in their hat that they finished a full 20 level campaign, and I want it too, of course. So none of us are going to give up. And the third person that kind of dropped out, he's still around. It's just that his responsibilities changed, so he doesn't have nearly the ability to sit down for lunch with us that he used to have. So he's like showing up like maybe every 4 or 5 games at best, which means like basically once a month or so is when we see him. But there's so much momentum at this point to finish the campaign that all the team really has to do is show up and not die, and they're going to clear it, and they know it. They know that's where they're at in the campaign. So like this, we can't end this thing. So I'm very proud of them for being so persistent and passionate about seeing the campaign through, because the lessons that I've learned from formatting a game for working at lunch within such a small time frame, it's really altered the way that I narrate and design games and encounters and challenges to flow, I think, much more smoothly in my native space. So it's really complimentary, because people have been interested in what we're doing, and it's like, well, we won't be recruiting until January, so now we have a roster of 5, maybe 6 people that want to play. It's like, okay, we'll take you all on, and know that like 2 or 3 of you will end up dropping out after 2 months or so. So we'll take on as many as we can get initially, because we know that over time we're going to burn off a shitload of them, because that's just how that's why so few people can get to from past level 10, because the amount of time it takes to get to level 10. If you don't, if you start at level 1, it takes many months to get to level 10, unless you are artificially collapsing time frames to go from level to level. And so you just have to expect that attrition to be there when you're going into building a campaign. And that's why I talk about like building the campaign by tiers. Like, you don't know if it's going to last. If you start at first level, there's no guarantee it's going to last past 5th. So don't design for a campaign past 5th. Create like design your TV show like it's going to get canceled next season. Make it compelling and interesting, but still satisfying and closing off any close off plot points and open up new ones to expand on different ideas. Don't just have one arcing plot line that takes 10 seasons to resolve, because there's no guarantee you're going to get funding for that, and then you have an unfinished story. Unfinished stories don't compel keeping a studio in support of a story, of a TV show. Is it making any money? And it could be a great story, but if it was marketed poorly and doesn't make any money, it's still going to get canceled. Screw you. Look at Firefly. That show was amazing, and it was just poorly managed, so they ended up killing it. Farscape almost got killed twice, I think, before it finally got axed. It was acclaimed. It was an acclaimed sci-fi television show, and sci-fi let it go because they just couldn't make the money work. Got to kill it. So role-playing games are the same way. You have to plan for the inevitable destruction of the campaign, and if your team continues to show up at the table and continues to surprise you, then congratulations. You could plan from 5th to 10th level now, then to 15th, and then maybe we can cap off this campaign and have a 20 level thing and start over again. And then if you're starting to lose people, hey, at least they got their 20 level campaign and they're in the top 1% of experience of people that have experienced that escalation from level 1 to 20. But you have to be committed to it, and you have to be thinking about going in that if we can do this, this is a time frame that we're going to do it in, and here's our expectations of attrition, and let's plan for it. So I was very this was the conversation I had with them in our session 0. Like, this is my expectations. This is how games run. This is the attrition that I expect. I'd love for all of you to stay. I don't expect it. Just be honest. If you're not having fun, or if your time isn't allowing you to do it, let us know, because someone's going to go, and if it's your time, it's your time. These are very it was like, wow, this is a real bummer. It's like, yeah, but if we get the pain out of the way front end, then it's just nothing but fun. And it's been nothing but fun. I'm like, good. I'm glad I don't completely talk out of my ass to people I care about. That's great. I spy with my eyes something that is text down on the sideboard. Give me a second here to get in a fight with this limb that's jutting out, and then I'll see what we got going on, y'all. So? Thanks, Zona. Really appreciate that. I do tend to ramble. It's nice that it's not completely unwanted. Again, hey, while we're talking about it, thanks to anyone out there that's checking out the stream here in the future. Hi, future. If you think this stuff is cool, I'm here 6 days a week, and now I'm consistent. For the past few weeks, I've been able to create little snippet philosophy, game design, observation type videos that I post as well. So I got streaming 6 days a week, and now I'm starting to actually create like planned commentary stuff. It's still it's only pseudo scripted. I actually start talking about something and just kind of let myself ramble on a little bit with like a side rail of like what am I supposed to be talking about, so I try to stay on course. And I'm finding it getting easier for me to be able to stay on topic and to have things done like in maybe like the one I did last week about gravity. That one only took 2 takes. The one before that I had done about what was the one I did before that? Travel in the Astral Sea. That one took me like 4 takes, but yeah, it's getting easier and faster. And I'm making cards, like actual title cards, and I'm using the illustrations that we're making in the book about the subject that I'm talking about to be the card illustrations. So. I'm loving. This is a great format. I am looking forward to doing similar to this for this Crystals in a Bar, as well as for the Martial Powers book. Once we start getting into artwork, we'll be able to start putting out little weekly things. Probably on like Ravnica DM on Reddit. Maybe I don't know where else. Maybe D&D Next or somewhere. I don't know. But like the Martial Powers book, there's a fuck ton of commentary and little tear out vignettes that I can do for that book. And oh yeah, that's right. This Saturday, we're going to actually start building the Ravnica Rubble Belt crawl campaign that we'll use for the playtesting the Martial Powers system from level 3 to 7. And we just created new tech on this week. I had an epiphany the other night, like Tuesday night, and added in a bunch of mechanics that let people not have to worry about having resources if they don't want to. And if you want to spend mana, you can just ramp up the effects. So there's some really cool stuff that the Martial Powers book is doing that I think is going to make it. I don't know if it's going to have any kind of universal appeal or not, but it is 100% fulfilling like everything that I want to be able to have in the games that I run as a DM. And to have characters with the kind of resource, like these are the kind of resources and options that I want characters to have in my games, so that I can run encounters the way that I want and have a wider variety of options on how to present challenges to my team. So hopefully, if I build it well, and of course, if the testing goes well at these low levels, and if I build it right, it could just be a monster. It is such a fucking cool book. Very much looking forward to it. Wom wom. Lamum. I am really, really liking how this piece is turning out. I don't do a lot of body horror Cronenberger type stuff anymore. I did a lot of it on book covers in high school. You know, like you wrap your book in like the grocery paper bag so that you don't damage the cover of the book, and then you just draw on it until it's completely covered and then you replace it. I did a lot of that with zombie art and Cronenberg stuff like this. So like this is my like 14 to 16-year-old angry at the world roots getting back out there, but somehow I feel like it's a positive energy space now. So I like feeling that evolution of my own personal self. Kind of proud of that, actually. But things like this have like so little rules. It's just make it creepy, make it organic, make it flow. It's its own special sort of awesome. Don't mind me, just a random wet orifice. Dripping fluid. Have a good day. Have a good day. So satisfying. Yep, so Saturday we're going to build, we're going to start with the core premise of the campaign and try to list out all the different different components and elements that we're going to have to build out for us to be able to properly run the campaign. And then we'll see, like I'll need random generators for the hex crawl aspect of it, and I'll need to do like some lore dives into Ravnica to see what kind of creatures I should be using. So I'll be cracking open the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica on D&D Beyond and starting kicking through that. I've got the Wilds of Eldraine monsters to complete, which I can also integrate to a certain extent into the Rebel Belt, and then we have to build color themed bosses that the team can potentially ally or war with while they spend time in the Rebel Belt. I need to lock down the caravan mechanics so that the team stays anchored to their character resources. So when their characters die, they can just pick up another character. We're gonna have to build a bunch of prefabricated characters. So we'll have a conversation about like what type of character do we want to build for each of the guilds. Like I'm pretty sure that the Rakdos, like so that, you know, if your character dies, you can just grab another one. Or if you're new to the West March and you don't have a character ready to go, or you're not sure what you want to do, you can just grab a character. But making a Rakdos Warlock, for instance, would make a lot of sense. A Dimir Rogue sort of something, and what like a Nazet Artificer, you know. So I have all these different options that are available. Shit, you could do like an Orzhov Warlock that uses the divine spirit. I think that's the divine soul. Oh no, that's the Damn, that's the sorcerer that I'm thinking of that have access to the cleric spell list. I still need to finish the spell point Warlocks for color mana. That's on deck. So probably when we finish the Hex Crawl, I'll be able to side project the spell point sorcerers because it's essentially ready to go. I just need to clean it up. Speaking about cleaning up, this project is this particular piece is just about Cronenberged enough. Dun, dun, dun. Meow. I could just sit here and nitpick on this shit forever. But that's pretty good density. You know, like, too dense. I see that I have unfinished business over here. That's just like a weird jumble. I see the skull in it, though. Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. So yeah, we can just build out characters, and we'll have to make a mana play. We'll have to make a mana play sheet for players. So when we do roll 20, I can have two boards. We can have one board with everybody's character sheets on it, and then the other board where we have the active map. So you can have two roll 20s open at the same time with separate instances. I don't know how many people are going to be able to do that. It might make their computer cry, but I'll provide. They can print it and keep track of their mana if they want. Clean that up a little bit. There we go. There we go. feels pretty good. Just need to do a little bit more over here, and then the piece should be done. For now. Done enough for us to move on, anyway. I need to put another log on my fire. Give me a second here. Last piece of lumber for the night, my guys. Last piece of lumber. Let's scooch you over. Little spark. He likes my spark. She said she likes my spark. There you go, Califer. Nom nom. Nom, 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 nom. Here we go. More fire. I'm the fire starter. See about scooching this in a bit, huh? Oh no, no, no. No, no, no. Need to bloat this out a bit over here. Can I Talon everything? There, that feels a little more reasonable. Let's expand that just a touch to fill the space a little bit easier. There we go. So when we come back through and detail this, we'll have a little bit more space for us to futz around with. There we go, like that. Fun little organy stuff along the sides. Neat. Just eyeing the carnage for a second. Let's take a sip. Yeah. Yeah, this guy up here totally looks like he's trying to be like, hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Looks like I just got raided, maybe. What's up? Thanks for the kick. We're creating a Cronenberg. It's called a living grave. It's like if you know Gauntlet, the video game Gauntlet, how they have those monster generators that just endlessly send out monsters at you until you kill them all and take out the generator. This living grave is basically a necromancy fueled, basically ooze monster generator thing that until your team finds its location on the map, often in a sinkhole that they have to climb down into, or underneath murky, muddy, gloopy, necrotic water. These things are in there, and then the undead rise from them, and the team kind of has to find, if they want the threat to end finally, they have to track it down and get rid of it. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to create zombies, skeletons, and ghouls unlimited. So, but this sketch here is almost done. Then we'll move on to the next piece. What's up, Indestructible Boy? Taryn, my guy, I appreciate you, man. Thanks. Yep, it's Thursday night art stream, so it's the Eberron adventure that I've been working on. Crystals in my bar. Here's the book cover. This is a symbolic. Not only does it look like kind of like a demon face when it's at this is the size of resolution that you would see it on the DMsGuild dashboard when you go to your front page, but everything in here is basically symbolic of different aspects of the adventure. It's the Eye of Mabar is the artifact that triggers the ritual that creates that summons the manifest zone of Mabar. This is the Mabar symbol and the moon that symbolizes it. There's a beam of energy that comes out of this crystal, basically like pod people sort of like incubator thing that's in this underground dungeon. The dungeon's underneath a fortress, but there's also a path from a graveyard that leads through tunnels down into the dungeon. And there's a dilapidated fortress in the woods that you can find that also has a path that leads down to the dungeon where this all takes place. And there's all these different doors that you have to be able to break through. And these are there's 6 different adventure hooks that guide your character into the adventure. So the 6 characters that are here, these represent the 6 different plot points or adventure hooks that lead you into the adventure. So if you pick one of them, the adventure is designed so you can set up these factions as being anti-parties that come in and either thwart or help your team as you go through the process. So we're currently on like episode 182 of the stream. Here's the full playlist for anybody that's interested in seeing all of it. We made the book cover back around episode 40, so you can check out this being made. But right now we're doing all the tokens for all the creatures that show up in the random encounters of the adventure. So, and once we finish all the tokens, this is just the sketching phase of it. But I used to do Cronenberg and undead stuff like this in high school on all my book covers, like the little brown paper bag book covers that you would wrap your books in so you don't damage the cover. I would fill them up with undead art like this, and then I'd scrap it and build a new one. So that helped me escape having to think about things in high school while I was stuck in class, you know. So this is a really great nostalgic return to a more bitter time in my life. But this time around, I feel a lot more thankful for what's been in my life than where I was at when I first was in this very Sepultura sort of mood. So it's fun. It's been really fun revisiting this and just feeling as not only as an artist how I've grown, but as a person. It's been very. I gotta say, I've just been thankful for the experience. These were just normal people at some point, but oops, all necromancy, and now they got to get rid of the bodies, so they dump them into this unmarked grave, and then lo and behold, let's try some of those experiments a couple hundred years later, since we haven't really been looking at them. And oh yeah, we didn't know that all those graves are unmarked, so they have no idea. There's fields and fields of dead that are going to come back to life when they start pumping these rituals to generate this undead field. And so all the dead rays and the local farms get attacked. So like maybe a dozen episodes back, we were creating a farmer's homestead, and there's 3 versions of it. One, everything's fine. Another one, they left in a hurry, left all their shit behind. Oh yeah, there's 4. And then one of them was, yeah, this has been abandoned for a while. Looters came through and took all their stuff. And then there's they didn't get out in time, and it's a bloody mess in there now. So there's a couple different versions of the farm homestead. It's just a generic homestead, you know, like a farm and a barn and a field, blah blah. A pea patch, you know, hitch, front lawn, bushes, some trees, fences, pretty basic. And so you can use the same map over and over again, but you can swap out like how bad it was for the people that were there for you to make it different. Because there's like maybe about a dozen farmhouses that got abandoned or slaughtered due to undead spilling out of the forest. And that's one of the reasons why your team might be there in the first place, is acting as deputies with a badge and everything. So you can ask the hard questions like, what the fuck is going on? And have the authority to make people answer you. Or, you know, you can write their name in a book and then send the cops after them once you have your boss approve what you're trying to do. But anyway, Rando, that's what it's all about. It's neat that OBS gave me the alert that I was being rated like that. I did not anticipate it having that level of integration, that I'd get a shout out that I was being rated. That's good job, OBS. That's y'all done good. Don't let your need to anthropomorphize things that you see to make you think this is just a really ugly version of the guitarist from Mr. Mister saying hello. It is just a clump of flesh. Any decision that you make to make him a damn good guitarist in a pseudo-Christian band from the 80s, that's way up to you, man. That's who you want to be. That's so mean. So mean. All he needs is like a really prominent Adam's apple. There. And I can give him the guitar. I'm a rocker. No! No Cronenberg. Bad Cronenberg. Feels pretty good. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do that. think. Yeah, that feels pretty dunzo. No, it's a little light over here. I need a timely timer. Got a 20-minute timer going to make sure I don't fall into any particular tangent, eddy, or pocket of waste for too long. I can afford myself my tangents and micro fixations, but if it takes 20 minutes for me to do it, I need to reassess what the fuck is going on, because that is too long. I spy with my eyes something that is text. Wump. Oh, Zona, that was dad worthy. Congratulations on becoming a father. Because dad jokes of that caliber require experience. Came to the realization the other day, the difference between a dad joke and a pun is the quality of the pun. There are no bad puns, there's just dad jokes. There's dad jokes and then there's good puns. And I could choose to be offended for fathers everywhere. That only the bad puns are allocated to the XY chromosome. But, is that how that works? XY or is it? Yeah, XY. Whatever. Anyway, chromosomes everywhere. Don't ask this guy. He's got like A, B, C, F, and G, as well as the X and the Y. We're all asking why, Cronenberg. You have no excuse. Don't you throw your jaw at me. Are you really? Is that bullshit? Because I'll believe that. I will believe that. But that does not qualify as a dad joke, because that's just too fucking funny. I embrace my gullibility and my inborn innocence. That if you tell me something, I might not necessarily think you're joking me until I can think things through. I always believe in the sincerity of the people that I'm interacting with, and it often leads me to making a double take at some point, going, wait, you've just been bullshitting me this entire time. I'm gonna stick my Cronenberg on you. Call him Betty. Betty the flesh blob. Get her. That was your whole plan. Get her. Well, it made sense at the time. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. What a lovely singing voice you must have. Only Zul. Yeah, friend. I'm from Dad Jokes. I'm not here to help. I'm just here to document your fall. Every shame shall be measured, every one. Measured and thoroughly judged. What if the only way to heaven is to be so cringe that the devil refuses to listen to you? unloads you on heaven because those assholes deserve it. Yeah, I think, yeah, that feels like a pretty good density. I think we can leave, yeah, I'm good with that. So, we'll lock that one down. One down, one to go. Another town and one more show. Plague Oak. Let's build it. It never came back. Man, even tap water is refreshing when you're thirsty. That's how people end up drinking poison. I am only there for being able to see the hidden posts. I do nothing. What are you using for D&D? Let's make an evil tree. Cheers, man. I hope it serves you well. That's your dissonant whispers right there. Dad jokes so bad they deal psychic damage. Suck on it. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have that thought, but it amuses me right now. Whoop, 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 whoop. This one's giving us the bird. This is your turn to sender. So the necrotic effect of the manifest zone, the fog, the miasma that everything sits and steeps in, it rots organic matter and then animates it or transforms it into something native to Mabar, normally like an exotic otherworldly plant or a gritty crystalline crystal soil that can be harvested as a component for necromancy and darkness rituals. But the Plague Oak, such a stubborn ombre that it didn't rot away. It just festered. This tree was bad from the seed. I don't know this guy's story, but it can't be pretty. Like literally the entire forest that this oak is in just rotted out and disintegrated into rotten sludge. But this guy is just stronger and more vile as a result of the experience. So this has got to be just the baddest fucking tree. His wallet says bad motherfucker. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, we have the shambling mound. We have the assassin vines. We have the razor vine. The yellow cat mushrooms. We have the mammoth and the mists, which is just like a giant, like a large or huge sized, basically Venus flytrap that catches in an acid acid dissolves people caught inside of it. Those like to hang out in sinkholes. So like while you're diving into shallow ponds looking for living graves, sometimes you accidentally find a mammoth in the mist, and it swallows you and starts dealing acid damage to you while you have to either muscle or cut your way out. So it's just draining. It just drains resources, basically, hit points and hit dice, action economy. It's just there. Most of the stuff that I have in my adventures is just there to tear down your resources. Like if I just wear you down, you'll eventually die, which is why I don't think Wizards was crazy to have this 8 encounters per long rest mentality. I think that's actually the right way to think. I just don't think they thought through how you're supposed to actually implement it into a game that's sustainable for 200 hours. Like that takes some creativity, and since 5e is so action economy and resource driven, you kind of actually need to think about, how am I ever going to actually challenge these characters? In the older editions, the characters were so weak in comparison that you didn't care. Like, if you got through the day, awesome. Thanks for not being dead. Let's get some rest and get a hit point back. 1 hit point per day. And if you spend 5 days of bed rest, you can start adding your Constitution modifier. It's like fucking ridiculous. Like, just the amount of time it took for you to heal in the older editions was insane. But they expected you to be running multiple characters at the same time, and that you would be building a castle for the next 16 months. So we're gonna put your 9th level character on ice for a while, and let's see if we can build up this other 5th level character you were working in the meantime. And it just keeps rolling around. Like there was no, like, until Dragonlance happened, there were no epic tales in D&D at all. It was all one shots and little vignette adventures, or like competitive dungeon crawling modules for like Adventure League type stuff. But you would get a score over how quickly you could move through a dungeon, like how much gold you collected, how many rooms you cleared, how many traps you dissolved, and maybe sometimes they would score how many creatures you killed. But most of the time it was about gold and number of rooms. So those adventures were designed to challenge you to get from, like, to move from one zone to another, to make you have to riddle or fight your way through basically a guardian that prevented you from accumulating more rooms until it was defeated. And they'd be tough. Like one-shot save or die sort of gotcha spells and traps, or like really difficult boss fights that if you clear it, now you can open up like 4, 5, 6 different rooms, and you're rewarded by having a higher score because you had the opportunity to clear more rooms. So you could either try to speed run your way through the dungeon to score all the room points, or you could take less room points but spend your time in each room finding all the treasure and traps to accumulate points that way. And it was actually I never got to play in a tournament like that, but I had a slew of the tournament books from first edition, and they were really just interesting. Really, really interesting stuff. It was really cool. Sounds like our new neighbors have a beefy muscle car. It's like, yeah, buddy. Just hope you don't have a night job. It's fun. I like making noises. I miss my calling as a 1980s hip hop band beatboxer. That was the destiny that had initially been laid out for me, but then I was born me, so something went wrong. Let's do like flip and blip. Just mess out some stuff. Do that. Whoa, did I just lock up? Yep, OBS. So the OBS software that I use, yeah, and whoa, holy crap! Photoshop just crashed completely. That has never happened before. Holy shit! Good thing I'm a manic saver. Hopefully this document's gonna come back for us. We didn't just blow our entire fucking night on nothing. What? It popped up as recovered. Holy crap. That's crazy. Okay, mass grave is good. Or living grave. Oh, wow. Yeah, we did. We lost all that last bit. That's crazy. Let's open this up and see where we're at. It's the crystals of my bar. The crystals of my bar. Boop, boop, boo. Crystals of my bar. Boop, boo, doo, boo, doo. Crystals of my bar. Cronenberg. Whew. Woof. All right, let's take it back. Bam, bam, bam. All right, so file. Phew, man, save as. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's safe to replace that. Just making sure everything's still here. I love that picture. You see my artwork's getting more and more complex as I move towards the top of the document. as opposed to the bottom of the document. Like, you can tell I'm falling deeper and deeper in love with just doing this stuff. Like, that's such a simple skeleton compared to what we got going on further up here, y'all. Now, anyway, it's the natural. It's just the natural order of things. Burp, burp, burp. All right, 9:30. Okay, so this is my last 20-minute burst of the day. So let's see what we can get done. Shan't we? Am I still streaming though? I guess that's the next question. Mike check. Am I still streaming though? I guess sure am. Like, subscribe, bell icon, help, love you. Oh my god, all that shit got lost. Fuck you. Oh, it's for the best, apparently. Warp. Blah. Blah. Ajamandoop, elip burp. We can grab all that business in, squaz it. You see how that lined up like that? God, that was great. I love this shit. If you missed it, you can go back and see that how this branch is kind of squeezed into existence. But that's what we love about this process, is the little miracles that crop up. Something crack out of my back. You like that? That feels pretty good. Man, this has been a great day. I am so looking, man, we're going to have some more martial powers tomorrow at lunch. I am so looking forward to martial powers tomorrow. That's going to be so fucking fun. And then we get to start building the playtest on Saturday. That is really going to be fun. I've got some cool shit hopping up for me in the next 48 hours. I am legit stoked, man. Legit stoked. Doesn't matter where you turn, that knot in the tree looks like it's looking at you. Excuse. Excuse. There we go. Let's hit save so we don't lose the fucking thing again. There we go. Knot it up, knot it up, knot it up, knot it up. Your need to anthropomorphize everything is leading you into thinking that this tree is sidelong smiling at you, but it's not. It might be eyeing you as a meal, but it's not actually looking at you. That is your brain attempting to make logic of things that you see despite rational explanation. Yeah. Very, very close to done. We're down to what, like 8 minutes, something like that. Weird. Huh. Very weird. On screen? Not really. No. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this so far. Reposition this like that. And then... No. Off my hair. I need to do. I need to cut my dead ends here soon. They are getting very itchy on my face when they brush across my skin. That is a good indication that my hairs are too split. Become all itchy and oily. I am the Max. Check out the Max from Liquid Television. It was like 1993, maybe 92. It was a comic book, but I never read the comics. But it was a damn good TV show. Great cartoon. Liquid Television, like MTV's animation studio in the 90s was banging. I mean, they outsourced most of it to independent artists and animators and stuff, but they had a really good eye for cool animation, and I will always appreciate what MTV used to be. There you go, that feels about right. You know, this is a pretty decent place to stop. So, I think this is more of a willow than an oak. Let's be... The Plague Willow doesn't have the same ring to it. Plague Oak sounds pretty good. Plague Willow is a little... It sounds more bitchy than dangerous, you know? That's not to disparage any willows out there. I love you, girls. There we go. Yeah, it ain't so bad. I like how this guy looks. Hey, guy. What are you all about? There we go. Hey, feeling pretty good. All right, I'm going to call that done. Why not? Okay, so we have successfully done all of the tokens for this set, the sketches anyway. So we do Eberron like this on Mondays and Thursdays, like tonight. When we come back on Monday, we'll go through all the illustrations again and do cleanup line art to the point where it'll be fine just to print them black and white. And then once we finish, we'll need probably 2 or 3, probably 5 sessions to do all that. And once those are done, we'll go back through and we'll drop color. We'll do color flats, and then we'll do detail work for all of them. So let's see. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be back doing more Spelljammer ship art. We're working on mounted weapons on ship decks right now. We'll be doing that. And then at lunchtime, we're going to come back, do martial powers, look at the empowered maneuver class features that we developed for the classes, and continue creating power gear, which are martial power versions of magic items. We'll create a couple different themes for those. That'll take up a Friday easily. And then we'll be back on Saturday, and we'll spend a couple hours. We'll start building the Ravnica Rubble Belt Crawl campaign for the martial power system using Magic the Gathering colored lands as our hexes to crawl through, whether they're single color or like dual lands, and then we'll create traps, challenges, hazards, and creatures that are thematic to the color or colors that are for that hex. And so that'll be our Saturday. I'll also have time off. I'm always spending time doing stuff off screen too, but also after the hex crawl development, we'll be building out a video, probably for ship lifestyles, like how to measure and pay for lifestyles aboard spelljamming ships and the consequences of the different levels that you maintain. That'll probably be our Sunday tear out, so I'll have that up as an independent thing. So if any of this stuff seems cool to you, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'm literally here doing stuff. Like, I have, at this point, I'm publishing stuff, if not live streaming, 7 days a week. Multiple, sometimes 3 times a day in some instances. Like on Monday, I'll do Spelljammer in the morning. I'll do, God, I have a dentist on set on Monday, so I'll have a half day off. So I'll do Spelljammer in the morning, then I'll do my day job, and then I'll yeet for my dentist. And then when I come back in the afternoon, I'll just do martial powers for like maybe 3 hours. And then I'll come back Monday night and do more Eberron stuff like we were talking about, doing all that shit. Yeah, man. Wow, it's gonna be great. And then on the 23rd is the last, 22nd. Yeah, the 22nd is the last day I work until New Year on the 2nd. And is that true? Hold on, I think I have the 2nd off too. Holy fuck. Oh no, yeah, no. Monday's a holiday, so I'll have Monday off. I might be on. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like on the 1st, but basically, I've got family stuff on the 25th, on the 24th and 25th. I should be on the 23rd like normal. So I'll have a half day on stream with you guys here on the 18th. I'll have a normal work week through the 22nd. I'll be back with you guys on Saturday stream like normal on the 23rd. I'll be off on 24th and 25th. I'll art from Monday through Friday for like maybe 6 hours on stream each day. And then I'll be back on Saturday like normal. I'll be off on Sunday like usual. I suspect I'll be back on for a good 4 or 5 hours on Monday during the day. And then I'll have my Eberron stream at night as well. So we got a fuck ton of fun heading our way here in the next couple weeks, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, so that's it for time officially. It's time for me to bang out of here. Hopefully I get to see some of you guys tomorrow morning. Otherwise, everyone have a good time. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody, and having the yucks with me. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks a lot.